clueless and it's not an act and it's actually helping his game. Now, I'm a few weeks behind, so for all I know, he's been voted off, but at least to where I am in the series, he's had some issues with Miss Catania. And Dolores is playing a good game. She's playing a good
I think
game
so.
at this point.
But I'm not. I'm sorry. I like the last season so much better. Actually, season one I thought was the best season.
Why'd you
Of
like last
Traitors.
season
It
better? Just because
was good.
Mercedes was on it, fellow chum?
No, not at all. No, I
Well,
mean,
she
she was
was
great.
great.
She was good on
She
it.
was great.
Mercedes was
Well,
great.
she was being herself, so it
Yeah.
was like, because
I liked last season better because I think the cast were more
open.
open, interactive. They were
Yeah.
playing the game. Too many of the cast on this season are just sitting back, hanging out, and
Not
laying
my
low.
boy, not my boy, Boston Rob. I love Boston Rob.
Oh God, get rid of him.
I've always loved him.
Yeah. Ugh,
In
really?
Boston Rob,
Uh,
Derek, and
you know, I do
Brittany.
not
Those are
like.
my three. I
I
love
like
Big
Derek.
I
Brother.
do, but uh,
It's all
I
right.
know, but Boston Rob, I think that he did the unprecedented, which is come in and kill a traitor when you are a traitor. I think that was a huge code of conduct and code of ethics from the traitors that he broke. And I didn't like it. I don't respect him for it. Sorry. I don't.
See, that's the Justin and Jade thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
don't.
you're into Tort together.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be working as a team, as a family, to be able to get to the end,
Yeah.
so that you can get rid of all the faithfuls, and then the traitors stay, and then you
Right.
split the money. But Boston Rob, he's in it for himself.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like you, get the fuck out. I don't like you. You said my name the wrong way, get the fuck out. But you can't do that. So that's the same
I
thing.
mean, you saw when he got rid of Bob, right? Bob the drag queen.
Oh,
You saw that.
yes.
That was
Bob
so,
said, I swear to God, but I don't believe in God. I'm a traitor,
but
bitches.
that was so ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're one of the traitors and okay, and they're going to get rid of Bob, well, we know the show. We've watched the show before. They're going to bring somebody else in. You know what I mean? They're going to bring somebody else in. And now the way the show is, it's not the faithfuls against the traitors, it's the traitors against the traitors. It was
Well,
it's flipped the whole different lid
I would like to
on.
see Boston Rob and Carolyn get rid of Danielle, and I would like them to bring in Dylan Efron as a traitor. This
I
Dylan
like
Efron.
I like
Oh,
F.
oh.
Really?
Sweet guy.
Hmm.
And I think his insecurity is so sexy.
And have you seen the body? Have you seen the body?
Yeah.
All he does is work out all day. I
Yeah.
mean, the man, I don't think, does he have a real job? Does he go to work?
Yeah, Zach's brother.
Yeah, but like, what do? You got to have some sort of a job.
He travels the world and does
Oh,
he's like a influencer in the travel, like
yeah.
what's the world? The travel like adventure
Travel,
vacation. Yeah,
yeah,
like
travel.
underwater
Yeah,
harpooning
all he does is
fish.
post on
So
Instagram.
I'm gonna have to go on his feed and check it out because he's probably half naked. That's the whole idea of it.
Honey,
Because all he
if
does is work out.
Yeah.
I was on that feed way before the traders. Let me tell you, if you go on that feed, you're going to need a few hours to just spend to yourself and then call us because the feed is nice.
That's funny.
It's a nice
David, why
feed.
don't you call him? Why don't you DM him and say, "Yo, what's
That's
up,
hilarious.
Say,
That's
hey, baby.
baby? That's my next husband."
well, apparently a bunch of them last night were in New York for something going on. I saw it on Instagram. Carolyn, all of them were there. They had some party or something in New York last night.
Really?
Yeah, for traders.
Catania? She
Yeah, I
crossed
think
the
they're all
river.
there. I think they're all there. Dolores has been on Jeff's show many times.
Well, how did he miss it?
I don't know. He's in here.
David, you could have been.
He's in.
there.
He's in the. Are you in the Hamptons?
Yes, let's say yes.
Who
I can
cares?
tell by the wallpaper he's in the Hamptons.
Let's just say yes at the moment. Um, do you think Kyle Richards needs a break from Beverly Hills? I mean, she's
Yes.
talking about nervous breakdown and, she walked out, she quit, she came back, she's still texting people. Do you think it's just like maybe you just need a season off? Yeah.
I think when you're going through turmoil in your life and you don't know where you are, even though when you're trying to figure things out, what these shows do is magnify everything in such a way
Everything.
that and it's not so much the exposure, it's the magnification of it. It makes it so much bigger. And then things emotionally way heavier. And you're not able to have processing time on your own to be able to see yourself through.
Right.
So what happens is it starts compounding, and then you start reacting. And then in that reaction, you start making mistakes or making decisions that you wouldn't have otherwise, or you're making the decision based off of things that may not be true. And so that reactionary area, they don't give you any time to take a step back for you to be able to have time to process.
Right.
So she's gone through a divorce. She's gone through a breakup.
But yeah.
She's gone through a friend and a love of her life, not lived there with her. She's having to see things that if he's dating or not dating or coming over, or where do we stand, or how do I feel? And you don't have time to be able to process it, to have a conversation with them legitimately and just say, you know what happened to us? Where do we go from here?
But I'm sorry, but I also think on that text message, when she said, I will keep things that we have said to each other between us, that's wrong. That is 100% wrong.
That's not girl code.
That is not girl code. That's broke girl. I mean, she has worked with Dorit for how many years? Friends for how many? Like, that's wrong. 100% wrong.
You don't buy her whole, well, I meant from the show. I meant like I won't mention it on the show from producers. You don't buy it.
Okay, well, don't mention it on the show, but obviously Dorit has no clue because she hasn't mentioned it to her outside the show.
Yeah.
So if you haven't mentioned it outside the show and you're not mentioning it on the show, you're not mentioning it.
Again,
either way.
But I'll come back to authentic self. Just be authentic. If just all she had to do is come clean and say, look, this is what I talk with him about. Even if you don't do it on camera, do it off camera.
Well, Dorit's now going through a divorce from the 9.75 years that she was married, and he's trying to get rid of her and not to pay her completely because of the 10-year rule.
That's dirty.
I mean,
that's dirty.
Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Especially when she birthed 2 kids for him.
Well, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to PK. I mean, that's kind of a smart move, no? If it's going to be like, you're going to have to do community property in like another 2 months. I mean, smart man, that PK.
David, is that being smart or is that being shady?
David is eternally single.
Shady and smart at the same time.
No, but you're doing that to someone that's going to be in your life for the rest of your life. You're going to do that to someone that you share days and nights with.
Yeah.
You're going to do that to someone who's like, she's given you 2 kids that at one point in their life are going to recognize that that's what you did. And if your child comes up to you and says, oh, high five, Dad. Yeah, I'm glad you screwed Mom over out of that money. Good job.
And you know what?
You're not screwing just the mother. You're screwing your entire family because you didn't engage in that relationship. You didn't engage. I mean, that's savage. You didn't engage in that relationship because you were looking to see how you could break up at the end